Today I want you to get set up with your watercolors. I want to show you how to kind of get started with that. So the first thing that we do is you get watercolor paper. So watercolor paper can be like this. You get it at Walmart. Just make sure that that it says watercolor paper on it, for one thing. There are other brands that have dual purpose, but watercolor paper, this is some I cut down into small 4.5 by 6. So I just took this whole pad and cut it in half both directions. They are 4 by 6. They're small, but they're adequate for what we're going to do with them. Some of them say that they're dual purpose paper, but if you look down the side of it, you'll see that it's fairly thick, and that's exactly what you want from that. So what we're going to do here is I have cut my watercolor paper. I've got it not wanting to move for me this morning. Okay. I also cut some backboards, and these are just something hard surface to put it on. The back of notebooks are really good. A cereal box, cut a cereal box down if you're at home. You just need something fairly solid to put it on. And then I'm going to attempt to tape that piece of paper down onto my board. Here's one I've already got prepared for it. Okay, notice I only put the tape on the corners, which is fine. Some people like to tape it all the way around, and you can do that as well. It makes a nice neat border when you're finished, suitable for framing. But I tend to frame over onto the surface. I'll give you a kind of an example. If this had a watercolor on it, I would frame over onto the watercolor like this, so I miss all that tape, so that the tape doesn't mess it up. Okay, so that's what you do to get started. You'll need tape, you'll need your watercolor paper cut down, you'll need some kind of a backboard or something to tape it to. That's your first basic things. You're going to want to get a watercolor set. And right here are two different types, the Crayola and the Prang. Both of them very good. You can get either one at Walmart. I don't remember which one they have at Walmart. But when you open it, here we go. When you open it, make sure that it has a brush. You want to have the right watercolor brush. It's going to have the bristles here. Let's see. The bristles here, rounded over, kind of a thicker brush. It's not a real thin brush. You can have thin brushes, but the best way to get the water to stay, the watercolor to stay, is to have a thicker brush. Okay. So with that in mind, you've got some options in watercolor. Like I said, Prang or just regular Crayola. The 8 color, if you'll see it says 8 colors, and a paintbrush was in the pack. Make sure when you go to Walmart to get that's what you're looking for. Inside here, if you'll notice here in this, and also on this one, it looks like a mess, but that's actually purposeful. You'll want that because you'll want something to mix with. Another good way to mix is just to get like a lid off of something there in the kitchen or whatnot, whatever kind of jar or container that might have formerly been on. And you'll want to be able to have something plastic or styrofoam, like a styrofoam plate or something like that. All right. Another useful tool is some Q-tips. You're not going to want to use that to paint with, but you're going to want to use it to put in little details and things like that. So I hope that today that this was just a simple little how to get started, making sure you've got the right paints, making sure you've got paper, making sure that you tape it down. Those are the first steps to getting started. So once you've done that, then there are other videos about that. Another thing that you probably will need, which I keep handy by, is some paper towels, so that you can mop up what you're doing, as well as some kind of a water container. So once you have these pieces, now that I've got it all out, you got a paper towel, you got some kind of a water container, doesn't have to be this big, can be smaller, can be glass, doesn't matter. You've got your paper tape down, you've got your tape, you've got more, plenty of paper, make sure you've got plenty. And you're gonna want, to have your watercolor sets and the almighty brush. All right, that's what I needed you to see today. Thank you.